Hey guys, so oh my gosh, we have made it to my favorite lesson ever. Okay, so it has to do with some dividing, so some division. We're going to be dividing polynomials, and we got to take it way back to elementary school. Oops, sorry for bumping that. When we used to use long division. Remember long division? So here's like a little mini example. Let's say we had to divide 592 by 46. Okay. So we would be like, okay, I can fit 46 into 59 once. 1 times 46 is 46. And then what would we do? We would subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. And then we would bring down the 2. Okay, how many times does 46 fit into 132? Well, let's see, can it fit more than once? What's 46 times 2? 92. Okay, that's as big as we're going to get, because if I multiply 46 times 3, I get 138, and then I'm way over. Well, not way over, but I'm over 132. So 46 can go in twice. 2 times 46 is 92. And then we would subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. I have to borrow. 13 minus 9 is 4. So I have a leftover. I have a remainder of 40. So when you write the remainder, you don't put R40. Some teachers teach you that. That is so wrong. The remainder is 40 out of 46. 40 out of the divisor. Okay, and that reduces. Anytime you have a fraction, you got to make sure you reduce it. Let's see. 2 goes into 40 20 times, and 46 divided by 2 is 23. 23 is a prime number, so that's it. So that means that this division equals 12 and 20/23. Okay, so I loved long division. That was one of my favorite things to do when I was in elementary school. When I finally learned how to do that, I was like, yes, this is so much fun. But I got to tell you, I did not get it the first time I did long division in elementary school. I struggled with it for a while. And then finally, when it clicked, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. And I loved it ever since. And now we get to apply these skills to polynomials. So how cool is that? So I'm going to be writing out the notes on paper today. I am using the examples from the book starting on page 46, so you can look back at those if you want, but I'm going to be doing my own thing. Okay, so I'm just going to start with the first example. I'll go with example A. And we are going to divide x cubed minus 7x squared plus 14 by x minus 5. Okay, so the first part is the setup. So step 1, we got to set it up. Okay, when you set it up, you have to hold any missing terms with a 0. What do I mean by that? It has a 3rd degree, 2nd degree, and then 0 degree. It's missing the 1st degree in between. So we are missing an x to the 1st power. So we have to hold its place with a 0. Okay? So when we set it up, we're dividing this by this. So this is the quotient, and this is what we're dividing it by. Or this is the dividend, and this is what we're dividing it by. The answer would be the quotient. Lots of words, Mrs. Garcia. So we're dividing by x minus 5. So in the box would be x cubed minus 7x squared. But remember, we're missing a power of 1. So I have to put a plus 0x, because it still means that it's not there. But now we're holding its place, plus 14. If you forget to hold a term's place, it's going to be wrong. So this is a crucial step to do these correctly. Okay. All right, so there's our setup. And now we're going to divide the first term of the dividend, okay? So step 2, divide the first term. So we're going to look at the first term here. What do we need to multiply by x to get x cubed? Well, we need to multiply by an x squared, okay? Then from there, I'm going to stop writing down the steps because from here, it's just easier to just show you what to do. We have to distribute because there's two terms here, an x and a -5. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times -5 is -5x squared. Remember what we did up here? We subtracted. But instead of one thing to subtract, I have a group of two things that I have to subtract. So when I subtract, I'm grouping them. So I have to distribute that minus sign to both things so that x cubed becomes negative, but a minus a -5x squared, that changes this to a positive. So I'm going to use a different color to switch the sign to a plus. Okay. And then x cubed minus x cubed, those should always cancel out. If they don't cancel, that means something went wrong. -7x squared plus 5x squared is -2x squared. And then we have to bring down the plus 0x and do the steps all over again. Okay, so now we need to get a -2x squared. So what do we multiply by x to get -2x squared? Okay, well, we're going to need to multiply by a -2x. -2x times x will give us -2x squared. -2x times -5 will give us a positive 10x. See, if I didn't have that 0x holding its spot, you would have the 14 there, and then you would be confused on what to do. You'd get stuck. Okay. All right, so remember, we are subtracting. So there's going to be a sign change. So I have a negative, so this is going to change to a plus. And minus a positive 10x, this is going to change to a minus. Because negative times positive is negative. All right, so these will cancel. 0x minus 10x is a -10x. And then I got to bring down the plus 14 and do it all over again. Okay, so now I need to get a -10x. So what do I need to multiply by x to get -10x? Well, I need to multiply by a -10. -10 times x is -10x. -10 times -5, negative times negative is positive. This is a positive 50. Remember, we are subtracting. Okay, and we have a sign change to take care of. Negative times negative is going to change this to a plus. Negative times positive is going to change this to a minus. So -10x and positive 10x cancel. 14 minus 50, 14 take away 50 is -36. Okay, so that's our remainder. But remember how we wrote our remainder as a fraction for the little warm-up example there? So our remainder is a -36. So because it's negative, you have to put minus, and then 36 is the numerator over the denominator, just like we did up here. You know how the denominator was a 46 because that's what we were dividing by? That means this is the denominator, x minus 5. So this is the answer. And I'll even highlight it. These are so much fun. I love these so much. They follow a strict process, and as long as you follow all those steps, you're totally good. So the key to practicing these is to actually give them a shot and try them out. So normally in class, I would say try these on your own, and I would give you guys whiteboards to do them on. Obviously, we don't have that, so I'm going to make you guys answer these questions in an ed puzzle. So I'm going to make you try these A and B on an ed puzzle. 9:52. All right, here we go. So try these A. All right, so letter A is dividing x cubed minus x squared minus 6x plus 18 divided by x plus 3. So let's try that first. All right, so before I set it up, let's see if there are any missing degrees. 3, 2, 1, 0. Nope, nothing's missing. So let's go ahead and set it up. X plus 3 divided by x cubed minus x squared minus 6x plus 18. Okay, so let's start the process. So I need to figure out, what do I need to multiply by x cubed, or by x to get x cubed? Well, I need to get an x squared. I like to line them up. You don't have to line them up, but it just looks so pretty when it's lined up like that. Okay, x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 3 is a positive 3x squared. And then I have to subtract. So I'm not going to put the parentheses on them anymore. Since we know we have to subtract, we know that there's going to be a sign change. So this positive x cubed is going to be negative. This positive 3x squared is going to be negative. Okay? All right. So now x cubed minus x cubed, they cancel out. Negative x squared minus 3x squared is now a negative 4x squared, and we need to bring down the negative 6x and start it all over again. Okay, so now what do we multiply by x to get negative 4x squared? Well, I need to multiply by a negative 4x. Negative 4x times x is a negative 4x squared. Negative 4x times 3 is a negative 12x. And remember, we are subtracting, so there's going to be a sign change. So this negative 4x squared is going to turn positive. This negative 12x is going to turn positive. And negative 4x squared plus 4x squared is 0. They cancel out. Negative 6x plus 12x is now a 6x. And then we bring down the last term and do it one more time. Here we go, one more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go now. There's a little bit of NSYNC for you. All right, so now we need to figure out, what do we multiply by x to get 6x? Well, got to multiply by 6. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 3 is 18. We have to do the sign change. Boom, shakalaka. And 6x minus 6x is 0. 18 minus 18 is 0. What happens when it equals 0? That means there's no remainder. That means that it divided evenly. So that means that this is the answer. How about that? I love these. I love them so much, guys. It's so hard to contain myself. Like, this would be a lesson. I would be so animated in front of the class with you guys, and I would have my smart board, and it's just so much fun to teach this lesson, but it's way more fun in person. I could promise you that. All right, let's try these B. So we're going to divide x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 31x minus 12 all over x minus 4. Okay. All right, so it's, even though they use the fraction bar instead of the divide symbol, it means the same thing. I'm still going to write it like long division, so that's not going to change. Okay, so let's make sure all of our degrees are there. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. They're all there. I like it when that happens. So we have x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 31x minus 12. And we're dividing by x minus 4. Dividend, divisor. Okay. All right, let's see how we do this. So we need to get an x to the 4th. What do we multiply by x to get x to the 4th? An x cubed, Mrs. Garcia. Yeah, that's right. All right, x cubed times x is x to the 4th. x cubed times negative 4 is negative 4x cubed. Don't forget about the sign change. Minus, plus. These will cancel. Negative 2x cubed plus 4x cubed is a 2x cubed. Bring down the negative 15x squared and do it all over again. So this time, what do we multiply by x to get 2x cubed? Well, we got to multiply by a positive 2x squared. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 4 is negative 8x squared. Don't forget about the sign change. Okay. And these will cancel. Negative 15x squared plus 8x squared is a negative 7x squared. Bring down the next term, plus 31x. Do it again. Okay. This time, we need to multiply by a negative 7x to get negative 7x squared. So minus 7x. Notice how these are always going down a degree each time. Negative 7x times x is a negative 7x squared. Negative 7x times negative 4 is a positive 28x. Don't forget about the sign change. Plus, minus. These will cancel. And I'll get 31x minus 28x is what, 3x? Okay. Bring down the last term. And we have to do this one more time. So we're going to need to multiply by a 3 to get the 3x. So plus 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Don't forget about the sign change. Minus, plus. These cancel. And those cancel too. We got a 0. So it divided evenly. So this is the answer. Isn't that pretty cool? I hope you don't hear my son screaming in the background because he is screaming right now. But anyways, this is normal life. All right. So let's look at another one. Let's look at, let me see, hold on a sec. I'm going to do one more using long division. I'm going to do number 7 under the check your understanding on page 48. It is, we need to divide x cubed minus 9 by x plus 3. Okay. It's missing a couple of terms, so that's why I wanted to do this one. So we are dividing by x plus 3, so that's our divisor. Our dividend goes in here. We have an x to the third, but we're missing x squared, we're missing an x, and then the negative 9. So we need to put in for its place a 0x squared and a 0x, and then the minus 9. So you really got to make sure that you're holding those missing terms with a 0 because they might be in the answer. So just because they're not here in the problem doesn't mean they're not going to be there in the quotient answer. Okay? All right. So let's start it. What do we need to multiply by x to get x cubed? Well, we're going to need an x squared. How about that? So we really did need that there. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 3 is a 3x squared. And don't forget about the sign change. So those cancel. 0x squared minus 3x squared is negative 3x squared. Bring down the 0x and do it again. What do we need to multiply by x to get negative 3x squared? Well, we need to multiply by a negative 3x. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times 3 is a negative 9x. Don't forget about the sign change. These will cancel. 0x plus 9x is 9x. Bring down the minus 9. What do we need to multiply by x to get 9x? Well, we need a positive 9. Whoops, I need to switch back to my purple. Positive 9. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 3 is 27. Don't forget about the sign change. Minus, minus. These will cancel, but negative 9 minus 27 ends up being negative 36. Okay, so I have a remainder, and it's negative, so you're going to have to put minus 36 over the divisor, which is x plus 3. And then there is our answer. Okay, so long division is one way to do these problems. There is another way, and some of you might like this way better, and that's fine. I won't take offense. I like this way too. It's called synthetic division. So what we were doing before was long division. Now you're going to learn another method, and it is synthetic division. For some of the problems that you guys are going to see in the near future, very near future, because it's still in this unit, there's going to be times where you're going to want to use long division, and there's going to be times where you're going to want to use synthetic division. You're actually going to want to use synthetic division more. Okay. I love polynomial long division, but it only comes in handy when you have to do a division like this. But when you're doing certain problems that you're going to see soon, synthetic division is going to be the way to go because it's simpler. Okay. So it's another method of polynomial long division, and it only works when the divisor has the form x minus or x plus a number. So if, like number 7, I could have used synthetic division on it because I'm only dividing by an x plus 3. But if I were dividing by like x squared plus 7, I wouldn't be able to do it because it's an x squared and not just an x. Okay, so that's the only thing about synthetic division. It limits you, but when you can't use synthetic, you can always use long division. Okay. All right, so we're going to use synthetic division. I have example B. We're going to divide x to the 4th minus 13 x squared plus 32 by x minus 3. And we're going to be using synthetic division. This is example B from the book on page 48, but I'm obviously going to do it by hand. Okay. So first of all, since we're dividing by x minus 3, that's where I'm going to focus on. If I were to set this equal to 0 and solve for x, I would get x equals 3. I need that value because I'm trying to find where the remainder is going to be 0. Remember when we're doing long division and it divides evenly, we get a remainder of 0? That's what I want. I want a remainder of 0. I want it to divide evenly. So that's what I want to look for, okay? These all won't divide evenly, but that's the purpose behind that. So when you set it up, you're going to have a little box, little corner box like that, and you're going to put only the coefficients of each term. And just like the polynomial long division, if there is a missing term, you have to hold its spot with a 0. For instance, in this one, we are missing an x cubed. And we are missing an x. So we're missing 2 things, and we're going to have to hold their spot with a 0. So the coefficient on the x to the 4th is a 1. The coefficient on the x cubed, well, it's not there, so it's a 0. The coefficient on the x squared is negative 13. The coefficient on the x, well, it's not there, so it's a 0. And then the constant at the end is 32. Okay? And what goes up in this corner box is what we found over here. When we set the divisor equal to 0, and we saw we get x equals 3. Okay? And here we go. These are fun too. So here are the steps. You first bring down the first number, always. And then you multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. And then you add. 0 plus 3 is 3. And then you do it again. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 13 plus 9 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. 0 plus negative 12 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. 32 minus 36 is negative 4. So this is my remainder. It had a remainder of negative 4. And when I write my answers, since I divided out an x, because I did synthetic division here, I divided out an x, so everything went down by 1 degree. So now these are the coefficients of the new polynomial. So it went down a degree though. So down from a fourth power would mean that this is 1x cubed. And then a positive 3x squared. And then a negative 4x. And then a minus 12 constant. And then my remainder, a minus 4 over the divisor, which was x minus 3. So that is a heck of a lot shorter than polynomial long division. So a lot of you are going to prefer synthetic division way more. But let's try another one because we need to let it sink in. This is brand spanking new to you guys, and you're learning it distance learning. So we're not in class together where you can ask questions and be like, wait. So what are you doing? And yeah, we don't have that ability, so. Hey, but we're going to do the best we can, right, guys? That's all we can really do. All right. I'm going to do another example. So I'm going to try these B. And just like I would in class, I'm going to have you guys do these first in the Edpuzzle. So this is at 8:58. Oops. Oh, but this is in the second half. I'm going to have to find this spot. Whatever. Okay, anyways. Because I paused it because I had to yell at my son because he was being too loud. All right, letter A. We are going to divide x cubed plus 3x squared minus 10x minus 24 divided by x plus 4. Remember, fraction bar in math, all it means is division. Okay, but we're going to use synthetic division. So remember, the divisor tells us what number goes in the box. So just remember, it's always opposite of what it is here. If I were to set that equal to 0 and solve for x, x would equal a negative 4. So it's always the opposite sign that you see there. And now let's check for any missing terms. 3, 2, 1, 0. It's got them all. So I just have to write the coefficients. So the coefficient on the x cubed is 1. Coefficient on the x squared is 3. Coefficient on the x is a negative 10. And the constant is a negative 24. Bring down the 1. That's always the first step. Bring down the first term. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. Negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 4 is positive 24. It's 0. That means that there is no remainder, which means that it must have divided evenly. How about that? Okay, so what is this polynomial answer? What is it? Well, remember, we're dividing, and we divided out an x. So this should go down a degree. So it started at an x cubed. It's going down a degree. So this is x squared minus 1x minus 6. And that's our answer. Isn't that so cool? I love these. They're so much fun. All right, let's try these B. Letter B. We have negative 5x to the 5th minus 2x to the 4th plus 32x squared minus 48x plus 32 all over x minus 2. Okay, so let's set it up. So in the box, opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. Because remember, if we set that equal to 0 and we solve for x, we get x equals 2. That's how I'm getting that number. And now the coefficients. But before I write them, are we missing anything? 5, 4, where's the 3? We're missing the x cubed. So we're going to need to put a 0 for its spot. 2, 1, 0. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, now we got them all. So negative 5, negative 2, we're missing the x cubed, so 0, 32, negative 48, and 32. Okay, just because these numbers are bigger doesn't mean we do anything different. Always start by bringing down the first term and then start multiplying. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 2 plus negative 10 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 2 is negative 24. 0 plus negative 24 is negative 24. Negative 24 times 2 is negative 48. 32 minus 48, that's what? 16? 32 minus 48 is negative 16. Negative 16 times 2 is a negative 32. Negative 48 minus 32 is negative 80. And negative 80 times 2 is negative 160. 32 minus 160 is negative 128. So this one has a remainder this time. Okay. But remember, we divided. We used synthetic division. So we divided out an x. So it started off as an x to the 5th. So its answer should be down a degree. So this is an x to the 4th. So negative 5x to the 4th minus 12x cubed minus 24x squared minus 16x minus 80. And then we have a remainder of negative 128. And we have to put that over the divisor. The divisor was an x minus 2. And there is our answer. So this one would have been super duper long using polynomial long division. It's still doable that way, for sure, and I like to do it that way. But if I saw a big problem like this, I'm going to use the method that takes me the least amount of time, and synthetic division is it. Okay? All right, so that's everything. Your homework will be posted. Have a good day.